What is Web3? You see, I've searched everywhere for the answer to what is Web3. But guess what? Most explanations were too advanced, filled with complicated jargon that makes it hard for beginners to understand. Let's be honest, if you're in the crypto space, most of us enter the crypto to make money. Now, to fully understand Web3, let's rewind and start from the beginning. We need to talk about Web 1, Web 2 before Web 3. So, what is Web 1? It is the read-only web that started 1989 to 2004. Wow. All right. It was the first generation of the internet. But imagine the early days of the internet, just a collection of static websites where you could only read information, no interaction, no login. You can't comment. That's what I mean. It just means that the first phase of the internet is just a digital newspaper. You just come, stare at it, and read. Don't you think there might be some issues along the place? We'll find out as we go. But before we go, here are the first set of websites that was created during that first phase. One was Apple, that was created in 1993, Amazon 1994, eBay 1995, and BBC 1997. But there's something I really want to point out here, because between 1993 and 1996, over 200,000 websites were created. Were people curious about the internet potential, or were they just creating something, or they didn't really know it's going to evolve? They never knew, and it evolved, and they will move to Web 2. So what is Web 2? See, while Web 1 was just read information only, we could not just read this time. We could also write, comment, share, and engage with the content. So this is the birth of social media, online businesses, digital advertising, blogs, forum, and they all was born. And eBay was the first to integrate this, because they discovered that people need to rate on the product they are buying on their platform. So they included rating and logging. But there is a problem. The problem is centralization. Do you know that as users, we're not just getting information on this field that you're engaging with, you're also giving out your information. Because the moment we create an account, like a post, share a video, or watch a video, or even make a search, we hand over valuable data to big tech companies like the Google, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and any of them. So what do they do with this data? This is another great question that we need to find out. So let's get that. They use it to track your online behavior so as to personalize the news feed they give to you, to sell your data to advertisers for targeted ads. They also manipulate engagement through the algorithm. So that means they decide what you see when you log in. Let's take, for example, two people using Facebook at the same time log in. We see completely different content on their news feed. That is because their algorithm sort content based on each user's data. Even the ads that pops up while scrolling through the internet are determined by the data you didn't know you gave away. Another question, how? You visited a mall yesterday, they know. You had a conversation about sneakers yesterday, they know. You were searching for fufu or maybe fish to buy, they know. If you watch a video more than 3 minutes long, they also know. In fact, machine learning has gotten so advanced that there was a case where ads started showing parental product to a young man preparing for marriage before he even realized he needed them. Isn't that creepy, living a life without privacy? Because right as your phone is close by, it's fetching information around you and then feed them to this big tech. Because the location is on, your camera is on, your mic is on, they are doing that. So this becomes a problem because people don't have privacy, and then Web3 has come to solve the problem. Now, what is Web3? Web3 is the next evolution of the internet, designed to give you control. Give back control to users. And then to get this clearer, let's look at the key differences between Web 2 and Web 3. In Web 2, you are the products. The big tech profit from you. Subsequently, I will make a video explaining how they make a lot of money from you. But in Web 3, you own your own data and content. You control what happens to your data and your content. This time, you are in charge of your privacy, right? So let's look at how this Web3 works. You see, Web3 is built on blockchain technology, meaning that no single entity like Facebook, Google, and so on controls your data. Instead, everything is decentralized and owned by the users. Wow, bringing back power to the masses where some set of people will not be richer than others, if you truly understand what this means. And then there's more to Web3. You see, in Web3, companies would be controlled by CEOs or government. Instead, DAOs that will manage the businesses. And what is DAOs? DAOs simply mean decentralized autonomous organizations. Subsequent video, I'll be explaining what DAOs is. But with DAOs, it means no CEO, no president, no middleman. In fact, as a shareholder or a token holder of a company, you can vote to make a decision. This is the true digital democracy. But let's take for example, imagine a company where you as a token holder decide to the future of that business rather than just a board of executive or subset of elites. Isn't that the quality you always hoped for? But one thing is clear, the internet is changing and it's changing for good. So to wrap it up, and I will ask a question, what do you think about Web3? Is it a future or just a hype train? But before we shut down this video, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like this video to support this channel. Subscribe for more blockchain insight if you really do, and drop your comment below. Let's discuss what Web3 is, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. My name is Gibbon.